New year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Working across teams is tough, but Asana helps you handle it. Asana AI can spot roadblocks and assign work to keep everything on track. That's how work gets handled. Visit us at asana.com.
You know I'm from the street. Straight out. Bacon, soda, water, splash, I can fucking cook. Bitch, I'm rockin' chain like a field nigga. How the fuck you real nigga, squeal nigga? Roll that pressure up and pop a seal nigga. Come that baby girl, I'm tryna build with. Heard you getting money, how I feel nigga. Heard you getting money, how I feel nigga. She coolin' with a real one, how I feel, baby. She coolin' with a real one, how I feel, baby. Heard you getting money, how I feel nigga. I heard you getting money, how I feel nigga. Bitch, I'm rockin' chain like a bill, nigga. How the fuck you real and you squeal, nigga? Heard you getting money, how you feelin', nigga? I been stacking money to the ceiling, nigga. Had to cut him off, I heard he squealin'. If they give me life, a nigga gonna bill it. Money made the world turn, money made the world turn. Got my haters salty, got them niggas catching heartburn. I was in the street to trapping, so this shit is hard earned. VVS is in my chain, I'm giving niggas sunburn. Rhyme with the shooters, and you know they bout to murder some. He ain't bout that life, that little nigga ain't finna hurt nothing. I was in the banner weighing over, had to make some. I'd rather catch a bullet before I let a nigga taste some. I was selling bills on the low, I had to chase some. Shawty got her head, bend it over, baby, shake some. If she ain't a dime, I'ma fuck around and make her one. Fuck them little lost pussy nigga, I ain't taking one. They say them straps illegal in New York, I'm still bringing one. 30 killer with me, nigga, I ain't just spraying one. I be in the gutter with the hooligan. Shoot it, you reload it, then I shoot again. Diamonds real, these bitches in. Bitch, I'm rockin' chain like a field nigga. How the fuck you real and you squeal, nigga? Roll that pressure up and pop a seal, nigga. Come that baby girl, I'm tryna build with. Heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. Heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. She coolin' with a real one, how I feel, baby. She coolin' with a real one, how I feel, baby. Heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. I heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. Bitch, I'm rockin' chain like a field, nigga. How the fuck you real and you squeal, nigga? I'ma show these niggas where I came from. I shot for a nigga with the same gun. Feds came to me, I ain't say nothing. I'ma fuck around and had to spray some. You dealing with a real one, how I feel, baby. Shout out to the streets, what's the deal, baby? I was on the move, I last night and I'm still baited. I be getting money, now my subdivision gated. My circle small, so you niggas cannot penetrate it. I know a type, she just want a little penetration. Beef with me, we grab them choppers and we invading. Knock you off, pop some bottles and we celebrate it. She just wanna take my dick and marinate it. I grab some gold and let them diamonds come and marinate. I was in the jungle, I was stuck inside a boat. We don't fight or tussle, we just grab them straps and bust. I heard you snitching, yeah, I heard you snitching on your friends. Last nigga tried me, he was never seen again. I left that hoe alone, we can never be again. Run out with a pack and you will never eat again. Bitch, I'm rockin' chain like a field nigga. How the fuck you real and you squeal, nigga? Roll that pressure up and pop a seal, nigga. Come that baby girl, I'm tryna build with. Heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. Heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. She coolin' with a real one, how I feel, baby. She coolin' with a real one, how I feel, baby. Heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. I heard you getting money, how I feel, nigga. Bitch, I'm rockin' chain like a field, nigga. How the fuck you real and you squeal, nigga?
what they do. I'm still getting everything set up. I'm queuing up this video right now. We got Nick Fuentes on the agenda. We got low cap gems. It's Crypto Friday, low cap gem Friday. So nigga on all levels trying to lock in. Let me see what's up my mic. But I know I just changed this mic too. This is the thing. I just changed this bit because I knew it was acting bogus. But somehow, yet and still, this motherfucker finding a way. This motherfucker finding a way. Hold up. Let me get to my audio. Alright, what's up with this? Like I got my microphone plugged up, but instead of me, I'm talking into the microphone, and for whatever reason, OBS is trying to make the microphone be the goddamn computer itself, trying to make a nigga use the built-in mic, like a nigga gotta talk to the PC and shit. So let me adjust this real quick. I thought I did it last night. This shit crazy. Nigga, microphone low as shit, huh? Hold on. I swear that shit do not be doing that shit until I go live. If I be on somebody else panel, my microphone straight. Hold up. This shit here aggravating. Let me see. Let me see. So we got the alert box, the chat box, webcam. Where the fuck is this shit at? Bro, there should be no reason why the microphone is coming in this low. Hey, this is crazy. Like, nigga, what the fuck, nigga? Like, what the hell is it doing? Like, boy, this shit about to aggravate the fuck out of me. Man, what the hell? This shit getting aggravating as a bitch, bro. I done clicked on every box. It's coming out the right fucking headset. Somehow, some way, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Let me see. Man, what this shit sound like now? This shit still don't make no difference. This shit getting outrageous, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with the mic, nigga. All the levels is cut up, nigga. Hold on, that bitch sound a little bit better. Let me turn that bit all the way up to the max. Turn this bitch all the way up to the max. Mic check, mic check. God damn. That shit was crazy, but I think I'm in the clear though. Appreciate that, Ramon. They got to turn that bitch up to 1,000%. Nigga had to turn the volume up to 1,000%. That's crazy work. Crazy work. Let me go check my chart too. Let me check the chart real quick. All right, bet. Let me I'm finna put my chart on the screen real quick. Let me put the chart on the screen. Hey, bro, come on, man. Don't be throwing that. Chill out. Stop. Daddy don't want you messing with that. All right. What am I down? What you call it that? All right, bet. Shrink this down a little bit. Let's go look at the chart. Hold up, bet. Where the fuck that bitch at? Hell nah. Where is my motherfucking chart? I just added. All right, there it is. I'm like, bitch, I know I just put it on the screen. Hold up, we'll put it over the Oh yeah, I dropped the Discord link. I'm still building out the Discord, but the Discord, that's how I'm gonna do open panels from now on. I was looking at the encoder and how much the motherfucking how much like StreamYard is overworking a nigga computer. And basically Discord will be easier for me to hold open panels on. So if a nigga want to hit the panel, they hit the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Leave a message like, hey, bitch, I'm in the Discord. And then I'll just bring you on the channel. Because that'll be way simple. Willie, stop opening that. Hold up. I'm finna have to. Willie, what you doing? Stop. Stop. Get back. Stop. It's not an option. Go sit down. Go sit down. Jello. You gotta finish your Jello. All right, so yeah. Yeah, I agree, old goon. I agree. You know what I'm saying? Having it go through the Discord. And I also, bring the traffic to the necessary region. You know what I'm saying? But so what I got on the screen right now is I got the NASDAQ futures on the screen. So I don't know if y'all can, oh shit, hold up. Matter of fact, I'm tweaking. All right, so as you can see, for the week I only did 365. It was a slow week for me. 365 this week. It was a very slow week for me. Hold on, you gotta put that together, Willie. You can't do it like that. Let me see. Look. You gotta put it in like that. So yeah, 365 was a slow week. Disappointed, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to do 700, I like to do 750 at the bare minimum. But 365 from the crib. What you're looking at is a Fibonacci retrace. I put a Fibonacci retrace on the line. This right here follows the ebbs and flows. The ebbs and flows of the market, right? Let me see if I can make that shit a little bit more. Let me zoom out. All right, bet. So it's the full screen aspect. I guess I could make that bit a little bit bigger so nigga could really see that bit. Let me make it big. All right, so like I said, I only did 365 this week. Right, this right here, what you're looking at, Fibonacci retrace. I watched, you know what I'm saying? I watched the NASDAQ go all the way up. It touched this line right here. That's the zero sum point 26054, right? And then it keeps track of the points, right? The ticks. So when I'm looking at depending on what you're looking at, right? I was expecting, or it was a lot of things. I went into this with I was biased towards the upside, right? A lot of momentum was taking place at the beginning of the week that allowed me to believe, like I said, that we was going towards the uptick, or we was bullish, right? So it looked like a buy side liquidity top at the beginning of the week, right? And so I was kind of like keeping my eye on it because all the news that was coming out, it was kind of pausing the markets, right? The different shit that was coming out as far as the things that was coming out with the Fed, all these different news things that was like I said, causing the kind of the market to stagnate a little bit. A lot of distribution was going on, right? So when she, like I said, when she took off and she touched 26, or she touched 26. I set up my my Fibonacci, and when I set it up originally, I had set it up to the top side. But when we got that pullback, I switched it out. And I drew it, you know what I mean, to represent the downtrend. And once I flipped and represent the downtrend, now I'm able to recognize pockets of consolidation that's not good for entry points, right? And I'm able to recognize when something is oversold or something is overbought. And so I use this right here, like I said, to gauge what's overbought, oversold, where the consolidation ranges is at, to keep me out of overtrading. So I made a trade yesterday, right? Yeah, I made a trade yesterday up here at the 0.236. That's right here where my cursor is at, right? Each Fibonacci retrace is like as a percentage, right? The percentage retrace. So I'm at the I was at the 0.23 or the 23% retrace range. And when I seen it begin to fall out of that, right into that sweet spot, I sold or I shorted. And I shorted down until the to the 50% retrace zone. So that's what we currently are in right now. And we've been in this 50% retrace zone, between the 50% retrace zone and the 38% retrace zone for like the better part, really, of the entire week, but for the better part of 17 hours. As you can see back here in this pocket, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. So y'all can see. So boom, like this right here. This right here is the same pocket I'm talking about, right? In between 0.382 and 0.61, right? This pocket right here. This is essentially, if you haven't got in on your move, that's a no-fly zone, right? That's how retail traders get stopped out, being in the no-fly zone. When you look at it, it looked like a no-fly zone, but this region right here, no fly. So if it broke up and it rises up, like I said, I made my short down into the no fly zone, cashed out, and now it's been consolidating in this area, being choppy, basically not going nowhere, right? So due to that fact alone, I've been very cautious with my trades. Like today, I think only made like 3 trades. And what does it say? Hold up, what does it say? Babe? Hold on. Chocolate milk? Hold up. Here, chocolate milk. Sit down. It don't even show you on. It don't even. I'm gonna leave that. I thought it would show you how much I made. I think I lost $18 today, so I just called it quick. I either lost $18 or $22. It depends on the cost of the spread. So like I said, I did a Fibonacci retrace for the bearish for the bearish way, or the downtrend, and I think I'm gonna continue that in the next week. Right now, it looks like the NQ is in fact in a bearish signal, but it's consolidating in this range. It's consolidating in this range. Let me see if I can't build a box around it. Hold up, how I do this? Hold up. I'm using the wrong tool, but I'm just trying to show something. Nigga, definitely using the wrong tool. But this is the zone I'm speaking on. Right. Let me take this tool down. I definitely clicked the wrong tool. Trying to use trading view on the computer is a little different for a nigga. I'm a little rusty, y'all. But as you can see, I have no indicators on the screen. I got no indicators on the screen. I'm a naked trader. The only thing I use is the Fibonacci. Right? I like to trace it. Like I said, to show the zones that I no fly zone. I call them no fly zones. So like I said, if you dealing with uh a bias towards the downside, you don't want to get caught trying to sell some shit all the way down here, right? You're not gonna get caught down here at the bottom at 0.786. You're not gonna get caught slipping down there trying to purchase or trying to short something, right? You will want to catch up here. You want to catch between the 23% and the 38% zone. Really, I mean, if you really know what you're doing, you would like to, you know what I mean, catch the entire movement, right? So I literally caught it right before she ticked down. Both times this week, right? I caught them both times. I caught the short to the downside. I watched it come back up, and I caught the short again. And the reason why is because the reason why I didn't buy my way back to the top is because this happened pretty much outside of market hours for me. So I'm running around, I'm going to Zaxby's, I'm watching TV, I'm taking a shower, put my son down, and then by the time I look at it, it's in full flow, right? It's in full flow. So instead of chasing it while it's in full flow, I just allowed it to do its thing, make its way back up into the zone. And once I seen that it was losing momentum, right? The momentum is exhausted. I start getting ready to short, place my shorts, and then we live with the results. So again, today it has worked its way back up to right to that threshold. It's being rejected right here. So with it being rejected right there, it's gonna stay in this pocket of consolidation. I would assume probably before the end of the close today, it might make a big move either way. I could see right before the close today it making a mad dash either to the top side and try to break this 26. Because if it breaks 26 by the end of the week, we got a bullish momentum going into next week. But if she continues to consolidate and makes a break to the downside, now I'm looking at continuing my bearish bias, right? Continuing to short the NASDAQ for the next couple of days. So all I'm waiting for is confirmation to the top side or to the downside. I'm not chasing nothing. I'm not chasing a damn thing. So hold up, my girl just came out of the room. I think she want to talk to me about something. Hold on. Let me go get a video real quick. Nah, I don't want to loop me up a space. Not right now. I will start. I haven't held one in a long time. I'm about to start hosting Twitter Spaces again. Let me hold on. Let me get to. I got a video. Like I said, let me play a video real quick. I know my girl got to talk to me. I'm gonna play a Fuentes video. Let me find Fuentes in here saying some dumb shit. Matter of fact, I can get to it in 2 seconds. I know how to do this. I'm acting like I don't know how to do this. Watch this, nigga. Ooh, nigga spelled Fuentes wrong. Man, what's up with my damn shit? That's interesting. I can't put Epstein in my shit. All right, yeah, bet. Let's play this. Well, I'm finna mute my mic. Commercial break. Give my ass 5 minutes. Commercial break. Give a nigga 5 minutes.
And anyway, Tucker goes on All In this weekend, and it's so telling. He does this big monologue and says that white identity politics is evil. He finally says it. And by the way, I have been warning you about this for years. For years. When Tucker Carlson was talking about white grievance politics, I would always go back to, yes, Tucker will acknowledge the grievances of the white man, but what is his solution? Because he has repeatedly said for years that white identity politics is evil. Repeatedly. He has said adamantly that he is ideologically opposed to all identity politics. He says it frequently, explicitly, clearly. He says, I believe in universal principles. I believe in a colorblind meritocracy. I think that mass migration and replacement migration has nothing to do with race. It has to do with voting rights. He says that the problem in the country is not racial. It is ideological. It is cultural. It's anything other than that. And he has said that when somebody comes forward and supports white identity and says, I'm the white man, vote for me, Tucker said, I'm going to say F you because that's Nazism and that's evil. And I told you that for years. And people said to me, well, why are you bickering with him? Why are you creating drama? Why are you fighting? Don't we like Tucker? I said, pay attention, listen. Well, Tucker went mask off this weekend on All In, and he said it as clearly as I've ever heard him say it. He said that my problem is that I'm in favor of white identity politics, which he says is no different than any other identity politics. And he says it's evil. He says we need to steer people away from that. He says it's no different than when black people engage in it, when the left engages in it, and that's reprehensible and that's evil. He's against it. And you know what? There is some truth in that. White identity politics, it is exactly like all the other species of identity politics. And you know what I like to say? I like to call it taking your own side. Black people have been playing identity politics for 100 years. And that's why nobody says the N-word, because they're afraid, because blacks have cultural cachet, political cachet. When too many black people get arrested for committing crimes, they will burn down the city and get the police defunded. And now black people can do whatever they want. They're looking out for their own people. They're taking their own side. They recognize that they have distinct interests as a people. And that's why they're getting payments. That's why they're getting payments in Evanston. That's why they're getting reparations in certain municipalities. It is literally now a political policy to take money from white people and give it to black people because they take their own side. They don't vote for somebody that they consider to be racist. They are pro-black because they are black, and they know that as black people, they have distinct interests, and they fight for them. The same is true with Jews. Jews play identity politics as immigrants, as religious Jews, as ethnic Jews. They have distinct interests, they organize on the basis of identity, and they fight for them. They use their resources, their position to advocate for their own cause. And that is why you cannot offend them. That is why you cannot deny their genocide. Because they will punish you. They will use their power to punish you. That is identity politics. And now, in the big 2025, when white people are finally waking up and realizing we are a people too. We have a culture too. We are a race. We are an ethnicity. We are a people. We're a proud people. We're a noble people. We are one of the great races in the history of mankind. And we have a country. We have peoplehood and political interests, and we're going to fight for them. White people are starting to realize that they are the frog in the pot of boiling water. And the boiling water is called diversity. For 60 years, we have been the stupid people welcoming in non-white immigrants who trample on our society, everything that we love. Civil and civic order, our holidays, our religion, our heroes, basic decency and decorum. They trample on all of it, and we have tolerated it out of altruism. Some sense of fairness. Well, we colonized them, now they can colonize us a little bit. We colonized them, now they can disrespect us a little bit. It's growing pains. White people are waking up and realizing, wait a second, we're the minority now. And now the non-whites are empowered in a democracy. When they outnumber us, they outpower us. In the election, they put their people in charge and then they oppress us. People see what happened in South Africa. When they got rid of apartheid,
So what we're listening to here, he talking about South Africa. This fool said South Africa. So he said a lot of things. We listening to the planets in the background, so y'all gonna have to deal with that. But that shit kind of loud, low key. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. So yeah, like I said, Nick Fuentes is having a heart attack. He's getting upset with Tucker Carlson. He says that Tucker's out of line for telling whites that they should not participate in identity politics. Right? So for one, we need to acknowledge that's what they're doing. They're playing identity politics, right? They're playing identity politic games. And due to that simple fact that they play identity politics, they get upset when other demographics recognize that they are playing identity politics. So at the same time, niggas running around here like, we need to stop identifying black. We need to focus on cleaning up our own house. All those talking points. The whites are saying the exact opposite. Nick Fuentes is ushering in the Great Replacement Theory 2.0. We've already heard about this. We've already seen this propaganda from the 20s and the 30s. Great Migration Theory, Great Replacement Theory. When the niggas was coming into towns like Chicago, towns like Missouri, towns like Detroit, they was coming into New York, they was coming into towns like Jersey. The same thing was taking place. The Great Migration or the Great Replacement Theory was in full swing back then. Full swing. So if we know that, why are we going to sit around and go for the same propaganda? And what's so funny is when Tucker Carlson was on Fox News, he was the biggest proponent of the replacement theory. What these people fear the most is being the minority in a country that they are overly the majority. Not even close to being a minority. But he'll sit up here and propagate to you that they are now in the minority. Just simply because there are certain groups who are fighting for equality. Just because certain people are speaking up for equality, he's saying we need to recognize whites got to stick together. Why is it that this incel can recognize that a bunch of whites need to stick together, but you niggas online can't realize it? We got the Anton Daniels versus Corey Holcomb on every black YouTube channel across all of black YouTube for the past 48 hours. Crazy work. Crazy work. Let me see what else I got. He said, I want to get to his. He just said something recently about Epstein. I want to get to that, right? I would like to get to that. Let me go here real quick. All right, yeah. So this is for y'all who taking your social cues from an idiot, right? Nick Fuentes claims. Oh, let me pause this so we can get it.
It's like
Nick Fuentes claims Jeffrey Epstein's international trafficking operation should not be labeled pedophilia because it did not involve very young children. He says the victims were barely legal teenagers, and so that means it's something different. That statement has also been made by Alan Dershowitz. That's a fact. So let me see if I can find the full clip. I think this is it right here, the 18 minutes. Nick Fuentes says that Jeff Epstein was not a pedophile, provides the perfect breakdown of age of consent, why we are a sexually dysfunctional society, and the need to deconstruct feminism. So watch this, right? I'm going to play some of this. People are taking their social cues.
True.
Again, I want this to be known. People are taking their social cues from a 28-year-old virgin. Okay, thank you, baby. A 28-year-old virgin. Now, this is from his own mouth. I'm not taking advice from a 28-year-old virgin who only experience in life is going to the University of Massachusetts for a semester and dropping out because it was too diverse. Like, bro, UMass, you dropped out of UMass because it was too diverse. Motherfucker, wasn't nobody at UMass but whites and Asians. Crazy work. He's playing at Neptune. Let me play this and listen to what this idiot has to say about this whole Epstein situation.
Last revolutionary sent $20. I know it wasn't your main point, but feminists have completely dominated men with the word pedo. They took what was natural male sexuality for all human history and conflated it with child fucking to shame men away from it and artificially increase the sexual value of hags. How old was Mary again when God...
Oh my gosh. He just said, I'm about to eat it, babe. I just ate. Will you watch me eat noodles?
pedophilia is sex with children. Children are people that are before the age of sexual maturity. Now, you can have your opinion and your taste and your ethics and your morals, but after the age of 14, that is past the point of sexual maturity, just period, biologically. And all of these feminists and all of their accomplices, the simps, they all want to say there's only two genders. They want to talk about.
Do you hear? So again, listen to what he just said. Listen to what he just said. I'm going to play it back. This virgin who has never laid with a woman is telling you what it means to be a pedophile. He's telling you that you're not a pedophile technically if you're dealing with someone over the age of 14. What are you actually saying? But this is what these guys do, right? He's a bad faith actor, and his whole objective is to push the Overton window and to the complete right. Okay, if you don't know what the Overton window is, let me speed this process up for you. The Overton window. The Overton window, right? So what is the Overton window? The Overton window is the range of subjects. Okay, the Overton window is the range of subjects and arguments politically acceptable to the mainstream public. So with him saying this type of stuff online and having his minions espouse the same things, what they're trying to do, and I've watched streams of him and him talking about this. This is what they're actively attempting to do. They're trying to push the Overton window. They want the public conversation around certain topics to change. They want public conversations around race to change. They want public conversations around sexuality to change. And they push it as if the left-wing Democratic progressives are trying to sexualize your kids. Meanwhile, these people on the right feel like once you're at the age of 14, you could be married off to a 50-year-old. This is what these creeps are really going through, right? This is why these manosphere niggas have the conversation about, are we gonna push the agenda that it don't matter as long as they're 18, we can fuck with them and all this type of shit. Well, where do you think that leads to? Well, if 18 is good, why isn't 17 good? Well, if 17 is good, why isn't 16 good? And then it gets down to, well, when does sexual organs and sexual reproduction become possible? That is the time in which they're going to try to push the consent age all the way back to. All of this shit is a play, right? The meme culture, the whole troll culture is to push the Overton window. That's why I don't respect that shit, right? Motherfucker play like they doing that shit, but they really trying to get their real sentiment out in the guise of playing. And once you allow that into the public discourse, nigga, you take away all the hard work motherfuckers done work for, right? They want to push the Overton window to where black people got to be cool with white people saying the N-word again. We not going for it, right? Just like we not going for you talking about 14-year-olds is the age of consent. Let me run it back and so this motherfucker could say this shit again. He's a fucking weirdo.
Last revolutionary sent $20. I know it wasn't your main point, but feminists have completely dominated men with the word pedo. They took what was natural male sexuality
So
for all
true.
human history and conflated it with child fucking to shame men away from it and artificially increase the sexual value of hags. How old was Mary again when God impregnated her?
Dude, brother, so true. So true. That is so absolutely true. And listen, you niggas are not ready for that conversation, but Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile, but you're not ready for that conversation. All of his victims, 14 to 17. That's not pedophilia. But y'all niggas ain't ready for that conversation. People say that's normalizing pedophilia. No, that's defining pedophilia. Pedophilia is sex with children. Children are people that are before the age of sexual maturity. Now, you can have your opinion and your taste and your ethics and your morals, but after the age of 14, that is past the point of sexual maturity, just period, biologically. And all of these feminists and all of their accomplices, the simps, they all want to say there's only two genders. They want to talk about reproduction and genitals. Okay, let's talk about reproduction and genitals. When do men and women reach the age of sexual maturity? It ain't 18. It isn't 20. I've seen women say, a 20-year-old girl is a literal child. No, sorry, she's not even a figurative child, let alone a literal child. Do you know what canon law in the Catholic Church says? It says the minimum age to get married is 14 for women, 16 for men. That's the canon law of the Catholic Church. So you want to pull rank on me with morality? I would take you there. And by the way, that's how it was for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Do you know when age of consent became a thing? Like 30 years ago. That is a second wave feminist artifact. But you people are not ready for that. Because ultimately, feminism is the matrix. And that is how women have browbeaten men with this, pedo, rapist, misogyny, all these words to prop up women's rights. That's ultimately what it's about. It's about
age of consent is a second wave feminist artifact. Did you hear what he just said? Bro, this shit right here, we just listened to 2 minutes. All we heard was 2 minutes. This is crazy. Like, yes, I know that these are decrepit. Yes, I know these are creeps. Yes, I know a lot of them that are act like they homophobic are actually in fact homosexual. But I did not think that the outright mental gymnastics that is about to take place from a party that claims to be trying to protect the children. Bro, not even 3 months ago, Nick Fuentes was on the Trump administration's ass because they would not release the Epstein files. Now that the Epstein files are being trickled out, drip by drip, this weirdo who's been on a quote unquote generational run, aka he's been replatformed by all of these major pundits on the left and the right. Now he's espousing pro-pedophilia propaganda. This is what the youth are listening to right now. This is what the right has to offer you. And this is who y'all niggas is standing next to. This is who y'all niggas is standing next to, bro. Let me run this back a little bit. I'm finna listen to this again. This is dangerous. This language that he's using is dangerous because we got a lot of impressionable idiots who are about to sit up here and listen to this, and they're gonna take their social cues from it, from somebody who never laid down with a woman. And he talking about he gonna pull rank based off the Catholic Church, the church that's known as the biggest operation of pedophilia that the world has ever seen. Are you serious, Nick? Bro, that's why I said these type of right wing guys, they would not last a second in a debate. They can only talk in an echo chamber. That's why I don't respect nobody in the echo chamber, if you white or you black, because it produces idiotic ideas like this. I was listening to Abby Do channel yesterday. I'm gonna go back over there on Tuesday and have a crypto debate. But I'm dealing with the same thing from these left wing dudes over there. There is no such thing anymore as the right and the left, and in the classical sense. We're dealing with authoritarianism from both sides. These people on the left want to be a tyrant and be able to control and tell you what you can and can't say, and tell you what you can and can't identify with. And then the people on the right want to do a form of the same exact thing. This is not conservatism versus progressivism. This is left-wing tyrannicalism versus right-wing authoritarianism. It's the same fucking thing. That's why I don't trust 75% of the people on the left, and I don't trust 100% of the people on the right, because they're more concerned with banning stuff and causing the social cues to be disrupted. This shit is dead in the water right now, bro. It needs complete reform. Complete reform. Look at this. They're saying, yo, his fans are livid. A lot of Nick Fuentes fans are turning their back on him after this conversation that he had. Right? Nick Fuentes literally endorsed pedophilia and defended Epstein on his live stream. Right? Okay, bet. Shout out to Candace Owens. I can't believe I'm saying shout out to Candace Owens. Let's listen to what the fuck she got to say real quick.
No one's arguing about
Yeah, I already
Jeffrey
ate it, baby.
Epstein's perverted interest, a sexual interest. No one's arguing that. However, Nick Fuentes is going to explain why actually that's not pedophilia. Take a listen.
This whole pedo thing, it's like, is it really pedophilia? I don't want to be the one that has to say it, but I guess I'm being forced to say it. It's not really pedophilia, okay? They weren't trafficking 5-year-olds. It was like they were technically not legal. Big difference, in my opinion. I know that's a controversial take, but that's not really the issue there, okay? The issue is not that they were barely legal teens, which is what it is. It's horrendous. It's awful. It's pedophilia. Okay, relax. No, the issue is that Epstein is a Jewish spy probably working with Israel. That's the dilemma there. He's working with Israeli intelligence.
Honestly, this is a time where it is appropriate to say this.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Agree. I watched stuff. Just stop right there. Why are we always here in society for no reason? How easy is it not to do that? Okay, not to try to use some technicality, which, by the way, who do you think is in control of these definitions, by the way? I mean, they are changing the definition of what it means to be a girl and a boy right now. So if you can find, well, look at this definition. Technically, if the person is 11, if the person's not under 5, who cares if they're prepubescent? The point is not pedophilia. We've expanded the definition. We're constantly expanding and changing definitions to confuse people against common sense, okay? If you are sexually interested in prepubescent children, you're a pedophile. How about that? Is that easy? Thumbs up? Cool? We good? And what is just so remarkable to me, and like I said, I've been fine with him doing his thing. Obviously, he's a federal informant. It's ridiculous for people that don't understand that. It's ridiculous that people just keep following him despite the overwhelming evidence. I mean, this guy took a meeting with Dan Wilkes' partner after years of screaming about Ben Shapiro and talking about Israel. And all. He took a meeting with Defend Texas Liberty and Ferris Wilkes' partner, and pitched, one reporter got documents, was pitching to sell the data of his followers. And people were like, that's fine. He led people into a Capitol with a bullhorn and said, ignore police, storm the barriers, as if he had fed instructions. And we know for a fact he was informed the night before by Milo Yiannopoulos, that the feds were going to beat, that there was some Fed trap happening. And despite that, he went with a bullhorn. He didn't just attend, he had a bullhorn, and he's telling people to storm, and he doesn't get arrested. And his lawyer wants to go off record when he's asked directly about whether or not he is a federal informant.
So again, I have to agree. Not only do I have to agree with Candace on the beginning of her conversation, right? Not only do I agree with her in the beginning, he is clearly a Fed. Anybody who has kept tabs on this dude, anybody who is focused on what's going on, we've already came to this conclusion. This is unquestionably the case. Like she said, he was a part of the January 6th. He was a part of it. He was one of the only people that was not prosecuted. The person with the biggest platform was not prosecuted for the January 6th riots, right? Storming the Capitol. He was not prosecuted. Not only was he not prosecuted, he was also at the Charlottesville riots, right? He was at the Charlottesville riots. He was at the January 6th riots. And on top of all of that, just like she said, Milo Yiannopoulos, however you say his name, there was only 2 or 3 people that was on like a conference call with a federal agent that called them and told them, do not show up tomorrow. They're going to arrest people at the Capitol building. How do you get a call from an FBI agent telling you, hey, they're about to arrest people, don't go? You go and you don't get arrested. The writing has been on the walls, right? But nevertheless, we got black people, we got black females, and we got white men platforming this dude because he's going against Trump, or he's going against Tucker, or he's going against Candace. So you platform this fucking weirdo under the guise of an enemy of my enemy is my friend, and guess what happened? You platforming a Fed. You platforming a Fed.
Him, despite the overwhelming evidence. I mean, this guy took a meeting with Dan Wilkes' partner after years of screaming about Ben Shapiro and talking about Israel. And all. He took a meeting with Defend Texas Liberty and Ferris Wilkes' partner and pitched. They actually, one reporter got documents, was pitching to sell the data of his followers. And people were like, that's fine. He led people into a Capitol with a bullhorn and said, ignore police, storm the barriers, as if he had fed instructions. And we know for a fact he was informed the night before by Milo Yiannopoulos that the feds were going to beat, that there was some Fed trap happening. And despite that, he went with a bullhorn. He didn't just attend, he had a bullhorn, and he's telling people to storm, and he doesn't get arrested. And his lawyer wants to go off record when he's asked directly about whether or not he is a federal informant. It's been so in your face and obvious. The ridiculous, oh, I just got $250,000 in Bitcoin from France from a guy who's killed himself and published a letter 24 hours after he was dead, because he set it on a timer, and it's in perfect English. And anybody who's ever been to France, French people don't speak perfect English. They are not writing a letter in English, even if they speak perfect English. It's just been so absurd that it offends my senses. It offends my sensibility that people have been following him. This is a Glee Club kid, okay? He's dramatic. I like Nick Fuentes clips. Like I like watching Real Housewives clips. And this is, by the way, the problem, as I've said, that heterosexual men cannot continue to follow theater boys. This is actually an illness in our society. God. Is that people who are playing the part of men and are actually at their core theater boys and want to go to Congress and want to have platforms and would never fight wars, they are, for whatever reason, being listened to by actual men. This was just unbelievable to me that the statement was made, and you couldn't see that it was going to end here. Of course, this is what happens. This is what happens when you elect or you decide that you're going to follow people who don't like women.
That's a fact. That's an entire fact. She called him a theater boy. Theater boys, right? And that's what's happening in this anti-intellectual Western hemisphere, bro. We got theater boys, and they're the ones who are at the forefront. And grown men are taking cues from theater boys. This is ridiculous, bro. America First is nothing more than a movement of Epstein-loving freaks and degenerates. I gotta agree. Nick Fuentes outed as a Fed informant by Candace Owens. He downplays Epstein pedophilia. Yeah, they on his ass, bro. They on his ass. And furthermore, like she said, all of this is a part of his story that a nigga already tied in with. But sometimes it's like it's so much about him that's fed that a nigga forget certain things. So he was debanked in 2017, quote unquote debanked, right? Because he was speaking out against Israel, so to speak, right? He was debanked. Then all of a sudden, he got a $250,000 donation in Bitcoin from a French billionaire who killed himself the next day and wrote a suicide note in English, like she said. None of that shit makes no sense at all. But this is what they'll have you believe. He donated Bitcoin to me. And that was the only way I was able to do transactions. But what he's actually done, he's successfully radicalized Gen Z and turned them anti-Semitic. Right? There's a difference between being anti-Zionist and being anti-Semitic. But this is all a part of the play, right? Because if you can actually drum up real anti-Semitism, then you can drum up real consequences and real legislation behind it. So this is the play I believe that's going on. They're actually attempting to instoke real racial violence. They're attempting to instoke real anti-Semitism by spreading all this propaganda from, as Candace called them, theater boys. So then they can turn around and put the clamps down on your stupid ass. Because you run around here taking social cues from a fed theater man, theater boy. This shit is diabolical. Diabolical. But let me pivot a little bit. Let's pivot a little bit. So Trump threatens to use military over Minnesota anti-ICE protests. Here we go again. Opposition leader Machado says Trump meeting went great. This chick right here, they about to be a puppet regime. About to be a puppet regime. Trump sees Iran crackdown easing. Tehran denies man to be executed. Interesting. Let me get off this, man, for they fearmonger a nigga. Oh, this is leftover from my Gary Gensler conversation yesterday. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this too. So the focus of the debate was FTX, a crypto exchange founded by Sam Bankman-Fried. We've been going over it the last couple of streams. Sam Bankman-Fried donated to the Democrats and the Republicans. It says right here in this article from CoinDesk. It says right here in if this shit would pop up, Congress had an FTX problem. 1 in 3 members had received cash from Sam Bankman-Fried, who was the founder of FTX, right? So in this conversation, the focus is on the debate was FTX, a crypto exchange founded by Sam Bankman-Fried. Senator Kennedy described him as an overhaired and underdressed. Yeah, that would be fair to say. So the senator expressed disbelief that the SEC had not taken proactive steps to investigate FTX, considering its high-profile activity and ambitions. So at the same time, FTX is defrauding customers of the tune of $13 billion. The SEC is suing Ripple, claiming that it's selling securities. Why didn't they sue FTX before Sam Bankman-Fried lost 13 billion US taxpayer citizens' money? So Kennedy Jr. argued that the SEC's regulatory machine was designed to ensure transparency and combat fraud. However, it appears to have fallen short in this disruptive new industry. He criticized the agency for not sending investigators to probe FTX and halting its operations until essential questions were answered. During the exchange, Senator Kennedy Jr. further questions why the SEC hadn't been curious about the source of Sam Bankman-Fried's wealth. He humorously stated that the former FTX CEO seemed to have done everything except buying Mount Rushmore. So again, this all leads into the claim I've been making. Gary Gensler, who worked at the SEC, they were in bed with certain crypto companies to allow them to operate. Even some would suggest to allow them to sabotage open markets in order to bring about regulatory framework and a kind of false flag in the financial industry, to say the least, right? Cause market crashes, cause um um fear, uncertainty, and doubt because of the Ponzi as schemes that niggas be running, and then bring in the big guns, bring in the legislation to kind of save the world from what you allowed them to experience. That's what I see. I see a false flag. This Ponzi scheme bullshit, the Terra Luna crash, FTX crash, these were all false flags brought on by traditional finances, people who work at BlackRock, the JP Morgans, the SVB banks, all these different high up execs. They're all in bed. They're all in bed with the SEC. They're all in bed with these foreign intelligence agencies. And this is who is really controlling the financial market. It's keeping the retail investors down and keeping the regulatory framework in a loose state, pause, to where they can manipulate the framework and keep people out at the same time.
Mr. Chairman, welcome. It's always good to see you, Senator. I enjoy our times in our private talks and in these hearing rooms. The feeling is mutual. Mr. Chairman, why did you and the SEC allow the FTX fraud to happen?
The crypto field is often one that is commingling and bundling services, as I said earlier, and often also offshore. And it is rife with abuses and fraud. It also takes time to thoughtfully and by the book and by the law build investigations and bring actions. There's a public figure, on average about 23 months from start to either settlement or bringing an action at the SEC. We did bring actions over the course of the last 5 years on 150 companies or
the
tokens.
cow was out the barn. I mean, I follow your remarks, Mr. Chairman, because I have great respect for you, and you've said repeatedly before FTX blew up that the SEC has the authority to regulate cryptocurrency. Now, here you have this company, FTX, run by a young man who has more zeal than wisdom. He prides himself looking like the fourth runner-up in a John Belushi lookalike contest. He prides himself on being underdressed and overhaired, reeks with arrogance. You could have sent down one investigator from the FTC with an ego like Mr. Bankman-Fried and said, I want to send someone down from the SEC and let them just watch you for a day. And he probably would have welcomed you in. I mean, his dad is a chaired professor at Stanford Law School. Where was Stanford? But where was the SEC? I mean, this was an accident waiting to happen. And I don't understand where the SEC was.
So, sir, I would say that the whole field has hurt more Americans than it should.
Yeah, but I'm talking about FTX. I mean, we can look back at FTX. I mean, Senator Durbin made this point. And we have this elaborate, complex regulatory machinery, the SEC, which I support, which is supposed to guarantee transparency and combat fraud. And any fair-minded person has to look at FTX and Mr. Bankman-Fried and these kids and go, what in God's, where was everybody? Where was the SEC?
And I would say where we were is my predecessor, and also under my honor to be chair, we've brought 140 or 150 actions. There are 15 to 20,000 tokens, and there are dozens of platforms.
But it was after the fact, Gary. I mean, here's this young man. He did everything but buy Mount Rushmore. Weren't you all curious? Where's this guy getting this money?
I would say that in the summer of 2021, when we Wells noticed a very large crypto exchange in the U.S., they went on Twitter and said that we were sketchy. When we subpoenaed Do Kwon, this is all public, so I can say it. When we subpoenaed.
Yeah, Gary, that's all bullshit, Gary. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. Now you're talking about Do Kwon and the Terra Luna crash. That shit don't got nothing to do with what Kennedy asked you. He asked you, where the hell was y'all at when y'all allowed these kids to take $13 billion and pocket it, essentially? One of the biggest wealth transfers of the 21st century took place under the watch of Gary Gensler and the SEC. At this time, Gary Gensler and the SEC was extremely aggressive in going after certain crypto companies, right? FTX at the time of its crash. Let me pull it up, bro. Let me pull it up. FTX at the time of the crash. What was its market cap? Okay. FTX market cap at the collapse. FTX was one of the largest and most trusted cryptocurrency exchanges, valued at over $32 billion at its peak. FTX had a market cap over $32 billion. Okay? It was one of the top 10 crypto caps in all of crypto. And you're trying to tell me the SEC couldn't send somebody in the regulation department to go sit down with one of these executives, but yet you can convince me that you have the right to be suing Ripple and XRP when XRP is not dealing with as much money every day as FTX was. FTX was doing all types of shit that you currently don't allow. But they flew under the radar whilst donating to all parties involved. Again, Crypto Coindesk said it already. January 17, 2023, it was already published. Congress had an FTX problem. 1 in 3 members had received cash from the crypto exchange's bosses. Do you know who Gary Gensler works for right now? Let's look up Gary Gensler. Who does Gary Gensler work for? Right? What's up, babe?
As the trade war between the U.S. and China escalates, Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott now calling upon the SEC to delist Chinese companies. Joining us in an exclusive interview to discuss this and so much more. It's his first time speaking out since leaving office. Former SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Gary, great to have you on the broadcast. And I'll start with what Rick Scott is talking about. How do you feel about the role of the SEC being used in the way that Rick Scott is effectively asking for?
First, it's great to be back with you, Andrew and Joe. I miss Becky, but good to see you, Kelly, and all of your viewers. Look, it's a privilege to be in the U.S. markets. We have the deepest, most liquid markets. They've been very choppy recently, as you know, because of all the policy uncertainty. But China for 20 years was not really following our rules. But we were successful in a bipartisan way with Senator Rick Scott. He and I used to talk on occasion about this, with a lot of success with other senators as well, negotiating with China that they behaved and they followed the rules. And we treated China with respect, but with firmness. And as long as I was there, they entered into a 50-page agreement, and they have been abiding by those agreements.
All right. I can't even. He's starting to piss me off already. So Gary Gensler. Okay, let's let this be known. Gary Gensler. Hold up. Gary Gensler has returned to MIT as a professor of practice, focusing on finance and financial technology. Let me put this all the way into perspective. So he got ousted, right? When the new administration came, because this administration is pro crypto, but they're pro crypto in exchange, or in the sense of Ponzi scheme. They're gonna run the bag up pro crypto. So he's outed. They bring in the new pro crypto guy, and Gary Gensler, who was used as the attack dog to keep out all competition, right? To keep out all competition and to really make America the breeding grounds for a Ponzi scheme. You left the SEC. And when you left the SEC, you went back to MIT to teach what? Finance, AI, and financial tech. More importantly, he has taught a course on blockchain and crypto, literally called Blockchain and Money. Someone who regulated against it and was on the Senate floor, just like I just played a clip of him talking to Senator Kennedy Jr. In those same hearings, he claimed to not know anything about blockchain technology. He claimed for it to be like a new technology, and the framework is still very we're early in the game and all this shit. And then he turns around and goes and teaches on blockchain. So either he was lying under the Senate floor about not really knowing that much about it, or he's teaching something he don't fucking know. Which one do you think? He's a professor at MIT, and you think the professor at MIT is going to be teaching blockchain and money? That's the name of the course, blockchain and money. And you trying to tell me you don't know nothing about blockchain when you get on the Senate floor? You're a liar, dude. You're a liar. Right? So now he's back at MIT after he successfully pigeonholed the American crypto industry. Meanwhile, what he was supposed to be doing is protecting American investors. He failed to do that, right? He failed to do that. Let's type in crypto influencers, right? Crypto influencers sued, right? Let's do sued by investors. So what's happening right here, and we're dealing with, I got to go find a video from Kyle Kalinske. We're dealing with it right now in the political arena as well. It's very rampant, right? People, they know about Israel paying $7,000 per post, but it's not just Israel, right? There was also, you can look this up, called Chorus, Chorus. It's a Democratic funded group that they do the same thing where they pay content creators to spew Democratic talking points, right? These are two ones that you know and that you know by name. There's another one called Tenet Media. Tenet Media, okay, they were paying right-wing influencers Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, and a host of others to echo the sentiment of the Russian government. Benny Johnson and Tim Pool had to come out and say they were duped. They didn't know that they were being paid by a Russian government to espouse Russian sentiment. This is rampant right now, right? And I first seen it in crypto spaces, right? Where influencers, people who had a lot of following on Twitter, a lot of following on YouTube, they were promoting companies that paid them to promote them. But what happens is in crypto, they set up a parameter. There's no such thing as dry shilling, right? We need to know if you were paid to shill, we need to know. And because that became the climate in crypto, a lot of shit started to end right when the Ponzi started hitting the fan, and motherfuckers started saying, "Hey, bro, this is a Ponzi. This NFT is a rug pull. This company don't got the money that they said that they got. This person ran off with the funds." Once they start doing all that stuff, people started to question, well, why was this company I'm gonna have to shut it down. Nigga can't never get into no goddamn live. I'm not even gonna go live no more. I'm just start recording pre-recorded videos and just put them out. I'm out.